Hey, how's it going, folks? Welcome to another edition of the Coach's Corner, live here at Benchwarmers Restaurant and Delivery. I'm your host, Nate Mullins. I'm joined today by our co-host, Greg the Wizard Kinn, on the ones and twos. And joining us, our special guest this week, Coach Eric Daniel of the Mohawk Warriors. How are we doing, Coach?
Good. Appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely. Let's get that up there so we can hear you just a little bit better.
I got you.
All right, so, Coach, let's talk about this. I talked to you a little bit in the preseason. We were over there for Media Day. And, I didn't know what to expect from this team this year. You had a lot of seniors moved on after last year, big graduating class, and a lot of experience in that graduating class as well. Now, you've gotten off to a hot start. 3-0 for the first time since 2018. When we talked in the preseason, you had this confidence about you that you kind of knew this was coming, and I don't think a lot of people did. I think you've been sneaking up on a couple teams here, but talk about what this means, what kind of a start this means for your team, and as you enter league play, what it means.
Yeah, no, it was we had a lot of good preparation over the summer, and not just saying that to say it. Our kids were bought in. They were getting after it in the weight room, had good off seasons, were getting in their other sports, and we had some guys that put on 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 pounds, and so we had a really good feeling about where we were at and our preparation. Guys that we knew were going to be first-year starters were stepping up in a big way. And it just didn't feel like we didn't have that much experience coming back. We had, like I said, kids shifting around or whatever, but some of our guys like Andon, he was a two-way starter last year. So varsity time is varsity time. You know, it's certainly a different role, but we knew he could handle it, and guys kind of follow that lead. We got a great senior class. They're super bought into what we're selling. They play hard for each other. They play hard for Mohawk. So we kind of knew what we had. We kind of anticipated our kids that we needed to step up, had a big off season, and they were going to step up. So we like the pieces, and we'll just continue to let our play do the talking for our kids, and we got all the confidence in the world in them.
I mean, rightfully so. I mean, coming into the season, I talked to you a little bit at Media Day. We talked about, you knew you might sneak up on some teams, but I don't think you're sneaking up on anybody right now. Like, I think this 3-0 start's got a lot of people kind of with their eyes on this team. First time since 2018, like I mentioned. How do you keep that chip on your shoulder in the locker room as you're going into this league play? Obviously, you guys knew what you had going into the season, but now you've got the bullseye on your chest. You're the defending N10 champions, and now people know they can't take you lightly at all this year. How do you keep that chip on your shoulder now?
Well, we certainly have a big one this week, and we know this is a big one. We don't have to tell our kids that. Crawford's a perennial playoff team. They're top 2 in the league basically every year for the last 5-6 years. They're an excellent football team. They got more kids than freaking Columbia. And you look across the field, I think they got 70 on the roster.
Wow.
So they're deep, they're talented, they're athletic on the back end, they're exceptional up front on both sides of the ball. So it didn't take much to get our kids up this week. We know it should be a good game, and we want our guys to get tested. We want them to be pushed. We want them to kind of get pushed to their limits and lean on each other through adversity. And that's nothing against the last 3 opponents. We just haven't had that really, really close game. Last week, it was 20-15 in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Ayersville played us extremely tough, had a good game plan, and we were sleepwalking through the first half a little bit. So we had to wake up through that. But we want four-quarter war. We want that mentality of our kids. We want them to want it tough. And we're going to get that this week and some. We certainly know that. They're deeper than we are, so we got to dig deep, dig into our hearts, and fight for 4 quarters and lean into our mentality because we are not deeper than they are.
Yeah, and, I mean, you've got that mentality that's working with you this year. I mean, you've got a great group of kids, new quarterback, new weapons, yet you guys just keep right on rolling. Now, what does this say about your system that you have in place here? You see this success continue after a strong senior class moved on after last year. Says, this isn't just about one group, right?
Yeah, no, they've done a great job of – I give a lot of credit to our kids that graduated last year and then this senior class because they saw a really good leadership model. They saw what it means to be player-led. They saw that when you take ownership over a team, the rest will follow when you have good leadership. And they've taken that and run with it. And now it's starting to percolate down to where now our juniors have seen that when they were sophomores and so on and so forth. And ultimately we play our best 11 that are our toughest kids that we can lean on,
Yeah.
Irregardless of, size. You look at OP, We want dogs. We want guys that we know we can depend on. Don't care how big you are. We want physical football players that are disciplined, coachable, and guys that can be dependable in adverse situations. So we found our 11 on both sides of the ball that we're very comfortable with, and those guys will go to war for each other every day. So, just proud of where they're at and the maturation and stuff, and hopefully we can continue to build on that.
Yeah, I mean, Coach, you talked about it a little bit about these close games. You really haven't seen too many of them. I mean, this week at halftime, it was a close game.
Yeah.
You got into them at halftime, lit a fire into them. Now, this Friday is going to be a battle. How do you mentally prepare your locker room for these big moments and tight games when you really haven't had too many opportunities to respond? I mean, you kind of lit into them this week. Was that kind of your, hey, this is what you have to do in these tight games. You got to respond.
You got it. And it was a blessing in disguise, and in that close game last week, our guys we got into them at halftime for sure, and we played sloppy football in the first half, and we got away with it last week. We will not get away with it this week. So we can't sleepwalk through any game. And teams like this, Crawford will take advantage of it. They're excellent.
Yeah.
They got ball hawks on defense. Offensively, they can beat you over the top. They can ground and pound you. So a lesson learned after a victory is excellent if you can take it and run with it. And it's easy to take advantage of those and just say, hey, hey, we got the W, we're good. We don't want our guys to be happy or satisfied with that. We weren't as a staff, so everything had to be a little bit more dialed up this week. And we don't have a lot of depth, so in practice we got to be smart with how much we bang and how we get after it and stuff. But we got to pick our spots to where we're speeding stuff up and slowing the game down on Friday.
Yeah, for those of you who watched the recap video by Cooper Snyder, he was over there for the Ayersville game. It just didn't sound like you were too pleased even with that victory. I mean, you had a double-digit victory once again, but you knew you had some things to work on going into a big matchup. Now, for those who aren't familiar, talk about your coaching style, just how you connect with that locker room.
Coach them hard, love them harder.
That's right.
I'm not big on baby and children, and it starts with my own kids. And anybody that's ever been around me would tell you that I'm pretty hard on my kids. I'm harder on my kids than anybody else's, and we're harder on our football players than anybody else in the student body. We have high expectations for you. I don't care what class you are or where you're at. We're going to coach you hard, and if you want to pout, we tell the kids all the time, pouting and pouters are losers. Be coachable, be malleable, be dependable. Part of that's owning, when we mess up, and we got to lead by that. So if I mess up, I'll be the first one to tell our kids that and own it. And last week, I told them, I'll tell you, it was on me because all that percolates from the top. So we took them lightly because I didn't, and our staff didn't get after them enough in practice, and we didn't ramp it up and didn't have that intensity, and that's from the top down. So I'm big on that leadership model. We want to take accountability if we mess up. We want our guy and we have guys correct each other all the time in practice. You'll look over and you'll have a senior doing push-ups from another senior because he dropped the ball or he half-butted her out or whatever. So we want guys calling each other out in a constructive way. It's you can correct them without demeaning them. Right?
Yeah.
So, we don't want to run our kids into the ground just being mean and jerks or whatever and being demeaning. But we certainly want them to hold them to a high standard.
I love that. Coach them hard, love them harder.
Yep,
that's the way you got to do it. And I think it was John Wooden who said that.
Oh, really?
Somebody.
Nice.
I don't know.
Love it.
One of the coaches, famous coaches, but I love it.
Yeah.
It's a great quote. So I want to touch on this game with Ayersville. I got a couple highlights I wanted to show you. This Levi Teal touchdown. Can we talk about this? I mean, obviously this kid's made a big impact this year as a sophomore. But this catch, I think we were the only ones that really got a good clip of this, according to his mom. She wanted us to send her this clip. But there is, if you look at this clip, I'm impressed, one, by Andon being able to just get the ball over the top of that defensive back. But when you watch Levi Teal and the way he catches this ball, Greg, you got that queued up? When he catches this ball, there you go. The concentration as he watches that into his hands and the speed to finish that off. Just talk about that for a second.
No, he's a special player, man. He's only a sophomore. He is getting better every week.
Yeah.
And I give a lot of credit to him for that and being coachable. And we've gotten on him at times in practice and stuff, and he responds. He's not a big powder. And what you're seeing is just a weekly growth. He made a couple great grabs against Calvert. He's somebody that has kind of matured and grown into that Kane Heyman, Caleb Bish role. along with BK and that's Kieran and Owen Patrizzi and some guys that we can really lean on in the passing game. They run great routes. They block hard, which is the standard, and he has really came a long way in a very short period of time, and he's becoming the player that we know we needed out of him.
Absolutely. That number 5 jersey, those are some big shoes to fill for sure. So he stepped into them really nicely. A couple more plays here. I know Andon Klaus is getting a lot of run this year, but Caden Bish averaging over 10 yards a carry. And this young man had one heck of a game against Ayersville. The first touchdown, obviously impressive. He had a couple broken tackles on this one as well. But, when you talk about just what he's been able to do this year, Coach, he stepped into this role, he's accepted this role, and he's really ran with it, obviously, figuratively and literally. Now, this run is what I want to talk about.
Next one, sir.
So here's this run right here. Did you guys count how many tackles he broke here?
Yeah, I think it was 10. It was, as my father told me after the game, one of the best high school runs he's ever seen in person. And,
this had beast mode written all over it.
He is a silent assassin. He doesn't talk much, but he lets his work and play do his talking for him. So he's another one that we knew we would have to lean on, and guys like him will take you where you want to go, and your season goes the way some of your best players take it. And he's somebody that you can certainly depend on in those big situations. They tied it up. Or, I'm sorry, they put it to one score, busted a 45-yard run up the middle where their horse broke a tackle, got to the second level and split us. And it's 20-15 midway through the third. And instead of blinking, he responds by this, and our offensive line, Logan Heminger had a great kick out on there, and it just, we climbed the second level. Brant Kirian there, I don't know if you show it again, but Brant Kirian sprung that at the 5-yard line, sprinted his butt down all the way.
Blocking all the way down the field.
And that's the stuff like we celebrate. So that is a great run, but there's a lot to it,
Yeah, there's a lot of parts that are involved there.
Yep, there's guys getting the second and third level looking for work, and obviously Caden is doing things that we know he can do. But, yeah, right there's Brant. He comes down and takes away this cutback here, right there.
That's a clean block right there.
It's just like stuff like that we celebrate. Those are helmet sticker stuff. It's not just the run, but it's like Brant going down and springing that, and Levi working way down the field, and our offensive lineman getting to the second level. So I was just proud of all of our kids for responding, because that's literally the first play after they get within one score. So that's the test we want. We want our kids to respond to that. Because in our league play, that's going to be an every week thing, man.
Yeah.
There is no way that you can sleepwalk through some of these teams and think that you're just going to have a layup. It's just not going to happen. So too many good coaches in our league, too many good players, too many good teams. So starting with this week, obviously.
That was a weight room run, though, for sure.
That
was a weight room run for sure.
Oh, and he didn't play last year or 2 years ago. So he didn't play as a freshman. Credit to Coach Rice and Coach Hawkins and those guys that coach him in those other sports. They got him out and helped get him out. And he played as a sophomore, and he was one that made huge jumps.
Yeah.
Was winning us football games as a sophomore at the end of the year. Had a pick 6 against Seneca East. Mm-hmm. And you could just see him getting better and better. And he has taken that to a whole new level this year. And it's a guy we depend on, and a guy that we got a lot of trust in. He had 7 TFLs last week. So
wow,
he's somebody that I certainly have a lot of respect for. Again, he plays hard in between the whistles, and he's somebody that your best player should be your hardest workers. He gets after it in the weight room. He's not a vocal kid, but he lets his play and his work do the talking for him. So
7 TFLs. He's a back. He's a running back, so he wanted to be in the backfield anyway, right? All right, we're gonna step aside, take a quick timeout, folks. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back as we got to break down this matchup between Colonel Crawford and Mohawk. That's coming up next. Don't forget, Coach's Corner brought to you by our friends at Xcaret Mexican Restaurant, Your Legacy Federal Credit Union, Drawn to the Surface Tattoo and Piercing Studio, and Benchwarmers Restaurant and Delivery. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Heart of Ohio Sports.
My stomach is messed up.
The game's almost over. Can't you wait?
No, I gotta go right now.
Wow, really?
Swung on, hit to center, well hit. Back, and this one's gone. A home run for Connor Moyer on an 0-2
Needed
pitch.
that.
Smokes it to dead center. That's
Oh,
probably at least
man, are you
360.
kidding me?
It happens. Never miss a moment. Heart of Ohio Sports. Stop down to Benchwarmers in Tiffin or call it in for delivery. Fresh cut fries, locally sourced ingredients, and phenomenal service. Give the Tiffin store a call at 567-268-9268 and place your delivery order now. Benchwarmers Restaurant and Delivery.
Welcome to your Legacy Federal Credit Union, your trusted community credit union for over 70 years. We're not just a credit union, we're your personal financial counselor. Your Legacy Federal Credit Union is a full-service financial institution tailoring solutions to your needs. Whether it's your first home or planning for the future, we're here to help you find success. Your Legacy Federal Credit Union, a legacy built on trust, commitment, and community.
Your legacy, your legacy.
You're locked into the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Heart of Ohio Sports. All right, welcome back to the Coach's Corner here at Benchwarmers Restaurant and Delivery, brought to you by our friends at Xcaret Mexican Restaurant, your Legacy Federal Credit Union, Drawn to the Surface Tattoo and Piercing Studio, and Benchwarmers Restaurant and Delivery. Folks, you can call in your order, call it in now, get it delivered, stop in and pick it up, or you can just stop out and join us here at Benchwarmers Restaurant and Delivery. Great food. They got a new menu and some new items, including pierogies. If you're a pierogi person like me, I'm going to snag some, take some home with me tonight. You can too. Stop on in, call it in. Benchwarmers Restaurant and Delivery. All right, Coach, let's talk about this matchup with Colonel Crawford, because this one, man, this is a big matchup. You don't see too many Week 4 high school games with this much weight. But this is a big game when you consider that, you know, this could very well determine the league championship down the line, you know? How do you keep your players focused during such a big game week?
It doesn't take much, I can tell you that. They're pretty locked in, and they certainly know what's at stake. In my opinion, Crawford is one of the top, two teams in our league for sure.
Yeah.
And that's certainly not taking away anything from anybody else. But their depth, who they have returning, how they look on film, they pop.
Yeah.
They got the returning defensive player of the year in Payne DeGray.
Yep.
And they've got a lot around him. A lot. The Michael kid's special. He's probably got 3,000 or 4,000 yards. I don't even know how many. I mean, he's been running.
Yeah, he's been there forever.
He's been a stud since he was a sophomore. I can remember. Ask me how I know, as they say. So, they're good up front. They're certainly are. They got a number one. The Parker kid is just an unbelievable player. I don't know how many yards he's got, but he's got to be close to 400 receiving. He's their ex-receiver, and they do a great job of getting him the ball in space. And every time he touches it, it's potentially going to the house. I don't know what his yards per reception is, but it's insane. So I think he had 200 week one, and he's probably had 100 in the last couple as well. So they've got weapons everywhere offensively, and then defensively they're very sound. They're well coached. They're disciplined. They do a great job of keeping the ball underneath them, rallying, gang tackling, taking good leverage. So we've got our work cut out for us. It should be a great football game. Our guys are not scared or intimidated, I can tell you that. We're looking forward to it. We want it. We want the kids tested, and we'll let the chips kind of fall where they may.
Now, I want to talk about that matchup in the trenches. You talk about that reigning defensive player of the year, Payne DeGray, first team first team N10 on both the offensive line and defensive line. Now, they got some monsters over there. You talked about it. Not just him, but there's guys around him. They really stack up well on the line. What do you guys need to do to minimize their impact on the game when your offense is on the field?
Yeah, Zach Hawkins does an amazing job in terms of scheme, and certainly knowing where everybody's at, especially Payne. You have to know where that kid's at. He's unbelievable. He's a college football player. If he doesn't play college ball, that is a travesty. That kid's that special. But to your point, you can only game plan so much away from one kid because, the other side, their other defensive end, 23, is spectacular as well. So they got great middle linebackers, the McMichael kid, number 50, 18. They can rotate kids in and out. There's no drop-off. So, we certainly got a lot of respect for them.
Yeah.
And, we got to know where Payne's at all times because he's a game wrecker. He's a Myles Garrett of our league. He can take over a game if you allow it. So
yeah, and he
we
can
gotta
win
know
you
where
a
he's
game
at.
if
We
you
gotta-
allow him.
Yeah, you got it. So we got to do our best to prevent that. But he's going to make good plays. It's just you can do whatever you want, but when you have players like that, they're going to make good plays. And we just got to rally. Next play mindset. If he beats you on one, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. That's why they have 125 plays in a game. So.
That's what you got to do. You just got to try to minimize the impact the best you can. But now let's talk about the O-line, your O-line, or their O-line versus your D-line. Like your defensive line this year, I think, has really raised some eyebrows. You got some guys that have really stepped up big. I mean, what do you think are the keys to winning those matchups on the line?
Yeah, certainly where our depth's at is up front. We've got probably 5 or 6 guys defensively we run an odd front predominantly, so that we really can lean on, trust, and rotate in and out, and there's not a drop-off, which we love. So it gets our guys fresh offensively. So a lot of those guys are two-way players, so if we can make them 1.5-way players, it's great for us. But Brady Kaufman, Eli Chevalier, Logan Heminger have done an amazing job in terms of leadership. Those are guys that our young guys look up to. They're captains, and they do things the right way. They get after it. And, their backups, Colin Eater, Jet Lacer, Bryce Rathburn, are all guys that we trust and depend on. So certainly proud of those guys. And we'll go as far as kids like that will take us. So
yeah. Now, your run game's really been hitting on all cylinders. You lead the league right now, averaging almost 300 yards per game. Now, in terms of front seven, though, they might have one of the best in the area. Now, how do you continue that success against such a formidable front?
Yeah, no, it's and we have to be who we are. We want to run the football. We have to be able to run the football.
Yep.
It's who we are. We're not going to throw the ball 65 times a game or 50 times a game. So we need one to set up the other, and we need to take advantage of what they're giving us. Got to be sound. Got to take good angles and do the little things right. A lot of, in my experience, where you struggle offensively is just miscommunications and not knowing where you're going.
Yeah.
So if we can take care of that pre-snap, and our guys are flying around confident, and if you mess up going 1,000 miles an hour and hit somebody, for God's sake.
Exactly.
So, we got guys on the other end that'll make you right, and our running back's pretty good, our quarterback's pretty good, where they can make a cut as long as you're coming off the ball. So
yeah. Now, you told me in the preseason your front seven was going to be the strong point of this team this year. Now, it's been apparent you weren't pulling my leg when you said that at all. What do you think has been the key to your success, and how do you continue that on Friday night? You got one of the best offensive lines you're going to face all year.
Yeah, no, we're excited, man. I honestly, this is going to be a great, to your point, this is going to be a great test for our guys. It's
it really
gonna
is.
Test their grit, and they're going to run the ball. They're like us. They are going to run the football. Jake does a great job scheming it up. And their offense comes off the ball. So we've got to anchor in, and we've got to, steel rod up there, Oklahoma, stay square and do our job and hang in tough and give more than we get. So if we do that, we like our linebackers, and they do a great job flowing and reading. So, again, I can't wait for this game. It's kind of kept me up at night. I haven't got much sleep this week. So I'm pretty jacked up about it.
It's like, how much more can we talk about this? Let's just go.
You got it. I could talk all day about it. So.
Now, I want to talk about Andon Klaus. This kid has really impressed early on. Now, he was filling some big shoes with Ben Bogner, 3-year starter, but this kid's really been lights out. Taking good care of the football, making good decisions. He's been pretty poised in the pocket, also contributing big in the run game as well. Now, what do you think has been the biggest reason for his early success?
Well, he's put the work in, man. He knows our playbook. He is so far ahead of where any of us thought he might be by week 1, and then he's only grown from there. Anything you give him, he's going to take home, he's going to study, and he's going to have it figured out. And the guys see that. They trust him. They know he's extremely invested. He's done an amazing job. Certainly he's a junior, but he's one of the leaders on our team. He gets our guys lined up defensively and offensively, and I cannot stress enough how much growth he has shown us over the last 3 or 4 months. It's incredible. So he's certainly one of our success stories, and somebody I trust on a deep level, and our coaching staff does. And we're going to continue to give him more and more to work with and give him more and more freedom, because he's only proven us right every step of the way. So
I've been really impressed with his confidence and his poise. Like, obviously, the poise in the pocket's one thing, but just the confidence that young man has in himself and those around him to just do the job that they need to do, and he'll do his job. I mean, he's really impressed me so far. But so has your wide receivers. We talk a little bit about Levi Teal, but Brant Kirian as well stepped up. They're filling some big shoes. You got Kane Heyman, Caleb Bish, a couple of big seniors that moved on last year. Talk about these receivers, their impact on the game so far this year. I mean, obviously, you've got Owen Patrizzi catching the ball out of the backfield a little bit, so it's not just those two, but talk about these receivers in the receiving group.
Yeah, no, it kind of hit the nail on the head with Brant Kirian, man. He's a captain on our football team. He was out last year with a shoulder injury, so he missed all last year. He would have played a lot of football for us on a pretty good team. He started for us as a sophomore, had, 500 yards receiving as a sophomore. So he certainly had experience, but he had a year off. He's came back and taken another step of where even I thought he would go. He does a great job on the back end of our defense. Offensively, just done a great job of getting lined up, running his routes hard, being dependable on the outside. And, the most proud I am of him is when he sprints his butt off downfield and springs blocks like that. That's something that we celebrate, that we want to be our identity, is when the ball's not in your hands, are you doing things right?
Yeah.
And he's one that you can 100% depend on to do things the right way when the ball's not in his hand. And then it makes it even better. Your buddies are cheering for you even more when you make those big-time catches and stuff like you did last week and the week before. So just really proud of him. And Owen, this is his first full year where he's getting to play offensively and playing on both sides of the ball. We move him around a lot, do a lot with him. Got a lot of trust in that young man. I love him. He's one of our captains as well, and he's a dude that you go to war with if you know him. He's just one of those Baker Mayfield type of kids that
for sure
everybody gravitates towards. Everybody wants to fight for him. So just got a lot of trust in those guys, and our tight ends have done a great job of doing the little things right. We ask them to block a lot, and they block their butts off. That's Rhett Leith, Bryce Rathburn, Briar Walton. They don't get a lot of the flash, but my God, do they do the dirty work well. So just appreciate those guys in our offensive line as well.
For sure. Now, this Friday night, if you're going to be successful, I think special teams are going to likely play some kind of a factor. How do you prepare for a game like this, knowing you're going to be tested in all phases of the game?
No, we got to be sound, man. Can't let, the Calvert game last year where we missed an extra point or whatever, and it's a lot of plays, but it certainly comes down to every play, and special teams cannot be neglected. We've harped on it all week, trying to be sound in every aspect and making sure our guys get lined up. We know what their tendencies are, where they might potentially break their tendencies, and just being sound on that side of the ball to where we're not treating it like a break, because that's the wrong mentality to have for sure. So,
all right, Coach. So, talking to Warrior Nation right now, what message do you have for them right now as you are 3-0 heading into this big matchup against Colonel Crawford?
Just appreciate all the support. It's been awesome. We've had hundreds and hundreds of texts to our coaching staff and just guys, parents rallying around us, supporting us on those long road trips, cooking food for us. There's a lot that goes on, as you know, on a successful football team behind closed doors. And we appreciate everybody that supports us. And we couldn't do it without them. This week's our military night. We don't treat that. We're making that a huge point of emphasis for us and our kids, on who we're dedicating the game to everybody knows a veteran. And everybody knows somebody that has served our country. And we want to make that a focal point for this game. We're dedicating this game to a lot of loved ones that have done a lot for this country that we live in, and we have freedoms that not everybody has. So we're going to make that a special night. We got our Mohawk camo jerseys that are about, they're specific. They have Mohawk on them. They're awesome. We're planning on busting those out and honoring a bunch of people that our kids are nominating and close to throughout the game. So we don't want to treat it like it's just we're checking a box. It's that's something that we're really excited to have, and it's near and dear to a lot of our hearts. So really excited for the game and that aspect of it as well. And these are the games that you think about in the off season. It's the start of league play. It's really special, so we can't wait to get going.
For sure. Well, that's really cool because we were just a part of Military Appreciation Night at Seneca East last week.
They do a great job too,
Yeah.
man. It's they do an amazing job of making that a focal point. Coach Phillips he does a great job with it.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, the whole staff over there, they do a phenomenal job. And then the cross-country event the next
that
night.
was awesome, man.
That looks so cool.
So I have a question kind of regarding the alternate uniforms that you guys are going to wear. I heard that you might be a fan of my alternate helmets that
Oh, my
I
God.
posted.
I like that. Dude, there's a couple in there. It's like, oh, man.
Yeah,
we
I
might
like
be
the
making some
chrome.
changes here.
Can we do the metallic? I mean, that
Dude,
looks sick.
There's a couple in there that,
Yeah.
I was screenshotting, and it was funny because we had 3 or 4 guys on our staff that sent me pictures as soon as they saw it. They're like, dude, check this out. I'm like, I know. Yeah, no, there might be some changes to the Warrior helmets thanks to you, as long as you didn't copyright them or something. So
I think he'll relinquish control of those. I don't know.
I told Connor that as soon as I saw him. I'm like, man, those are sweet. Yeah, I like the bottom 2 especially. So the red face mask I love, and then the other one.
yeah.
So
Yeah, they pop.
they do.
They definitely pop.
Well, that's pretty
So
cool.
you guys, as a team, you guys definitely pop. So I think you'd look good in some of those threads, some of those new helmets.
Now, as for that question, Greg, I have a question that you probably have been dying to ask the Mohawk community. Okay, can we ask this question?
Oh, boy.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So yeah.
Here we go.
I gotta turn my mic up for this one. Why in the world?
Oh, boy. We got some tendencies. In
Here we
weird
go.
countries, so.
Why does your guys' arrow face the wrong direction?
I have no idea. Does
Like,
it face the wrong direction?
If you read words, you read left to right. Your
Okay.
guys' arrow faces left. Every time I look at the
don't even-
logo, I'm like, why is that facing left? It's
If
not
you
the right way.
notice, no, Coach, if you notice, all of the logos that we use of yours,
Yeah, they're going, okay.
the logo faces right because it drives him nuts.
That's hilarious. So you
So I
want to
apologize to anyone.
Yeah.
If there's a reason
I
for
gotcha.
that, if there is a reason for that, and it's a good reason, I apologize if we're doing that too. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but Greggy's like, why does it go to the left? It needs to go to the right. It looks so much better to the right.
It's the OCD, man.
You said it, not me. You got some obsessive tendency. See, I'm the opposite of you. I have trouble with that aspect of it and the organization and stuff. So I'm like, slap that son of a gun on however you want, fellas.
Right?
Like,
Wait a minute.
I would never notice that.
You're not responsible for the press box being off center, are you?
Oh, God. Yeah.
Here we go.
In my defense, I wanted the door on the side.
Oh,
So we
my
could have added
goodness.
some useful space over there.
I love the press box, though.
Oh, yeah, it's so
They
nice
did a
now.
great job.
They really did.
Yeah, they did a great
All
job.
right, Coach. Any final thoughts before I let you go?
No, appreciate the coverage. Appreciate you guys coming to the game. The kids love it. Community. I get texts from guys that can't make the game that are watching. So certainly appreciate all the coverage you guys provide, and you guys are a very valuable resource to have in our local community.
I appreciate
doing
that.
a great job, and just appreciate you highlighting our kids and our student athletes. It's something that I think the parents and the community and the kids really value. And probably didn't get said enough, so thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. What we really try to do is give these athletes the platform that we feel like they deserve.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yep, it's awesome.
You guys are you're trying to do a job with raising young men, being a leader, trying to create leaders. We're trying to give these athletes the platform that I feel like has been missing for a long time.
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yep, no problem.
All right. Once again, you've been watching the Coach's Corner live here at Benchwarmers Restaurant and Delivery. I want to thank our sponsors. Thanks to Your Legacy Federal Credit Union, as well as Xcaret Mexican Restaurant, Drawn to the Surface Tattoo and Piercing Studio, and our friends here at Benchwarmers Restaurant and Delivery. Thanks to the Wizard, Greg Kinn, for keeping us locked in and making us look good. And thanks to my special guest once again,
No problem.
Mohawk Warriors coach Eric Daniel. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. You've been watching Heart of Ohio Sports.